Assalamu alaikum students. Today we are going to do Waiting for Godot Act 2 important situation number 6. And let's see what we have. It is Pozo's speech. Pozo says they give birth astride of a grave. The light gleams an instant, then it's night once more. Pozo becomes irritated when Vladimir repeatedly questions him about time, memory, and the changes that have occurred between Act 1 and Act 2. Frustrated by these demands for explanation, Pozo suddenly delivers one of the most memorable lines in the play. This speech is Pozo's response to Vladimir's attempt to impose order and chronology on events. Vladimir wants to know when Pozo became blind and how things changed. Pozo rejects the importance of such questions. For him, human life is so brief that distinctions between yesterday, today, and tomorrow are almost meaningless. The image is striking. People are born astride of a grave, meaning that death is present from the very beginning of life. When you are born, death comes with it. They coexist, life and death. The light of existence appears only for a moment before darkness returns. In a few words, Pozo compresses the entire human life cycle into birth, a brief moment of consciousness and death. The speech marks a shift in Pozo's character. In Act 1, he was theatrical, arrogant, and concerned with status. In Act 2, after becoming blind, he expresses a bleak awareness of mortality and the fragility of existence. Let's talk about techniques. First one is metaphor. They give birth astride of a grave. Here, birth is metaphorically placed on top of a grave. Life and death are presented as inseparable rather than as distant stages. Beckett collapses the usual separation between beginning and end. He suggests that mortality defines human existence from the start. Then, second one is dark imagery. The light gleams an instant, and it's night once more. Life is represented by light, and death is represented by darkness. The constant or the contrast, this constant contrast makes life appear extremely brief and fragile. The imagery evokes existential pessimism. It is consciousness is only a temporary interruption in surrounding darkness. Third one is compression and conciseness. The speech condenses the whole human condition into a single sentence. Its brevity gives it the force of an aphorism or philosophical maxim. Beckett achieves profound philosophical impact through minimal language. That is the mastery. That is the hallmark of Samuel Beckett. Now, next one is symbolism. There are so many symbols here: grave, light, night. Grave symbolizes mortality, decay, and inevitability, whereas light symbolizes consciousness, life, and awareness, whereas night symbolizes death, oblivion, and non being. So the symbols universalize Pose's statement, making it apply to all humanity rather than to a single character. Fifth one is dramatic tone shift. The speech interrupts the play's comic rhythm The audience moves abruptly from absurd banter to a stark meditation on death. Beckett frequently uses comedy to prepare the audience for moments of existential seriousness, from comedy to serious questions of life about existence. That is the art he has. Now let's talk about themes. Number one is mortality. They give birth aside of a grave means that is not merely the end of life. It accompanies life from the moment of birth. Human beings cannot escape mortality because it is built into existence itself. Now, second one is brevity of life. The light gleams an instant. What themes it presents? Life is portrayed as a brief flash between two periods of darkness. The speech challenges any belief that human life has lasting permanence or importance. Third one is meaninglessness or absurdity. Pose's outburst implies that arguments about dates, about sequences, about explanations are trivial when existence itself is so short. Human attempts to impose order on life may be fundamentally inadequate. Next theme is time. The speech minimizes the importance of chronological distinctions. In Beckett's world, time is less a meaningful progression than a brief interval leading inevitability to death. Last one is human fragility. Pozo himself has become blind between the acts. Painful, shocking, eye opener. His physical decline gives authority to his meditation on human weakness and impermanence. Now, let me critically analyze it. The speech is often treated as the philosophical center of Act 2. Vladimir seeks explanations and continuity. Pozo denies that such explanations matter. By reducing life to birth in a brief flash of awareness and death, Pozo expresses a radically pessimistic vision of the human condition. Critics frequently note that the speech resembles existential and absurdist philosophy. Human beings are conscious, but their consciousness is temporary and surrounded by nothingness. The image of being born astride of a grave suggests that death is not a future event waiting at the end of life. It is an ever present condition that accompanies us from the beginning. The speech also gains force because it comes from a transformed Pozo, powerful Pozo to the weak one, independent Pozo from the independent Pozo to the dependent one. In Act 1, he embodied worldly power. In Act 2, he embodies vulnerability. His blindness becomes symbolic. Only after losing control does he perceive the fragility of human existence. So we can finally say that Pozo's speech compresses the whole human condition into one bleak image. People are born in the shadow of death, experience only a brief moment of consciousness, and disappear into darkness again. Through metaphor, through light dark imagery, and extreme conciseness, Beckett turns a short outburst into a profound statement about mortality, time, and the absurdity of existence. I hope you have enjoyed it. I hope you have understood it. But still, if you have any questions, you can ask me. You can inbox me. I will try my best to answer you. Thank you for watching.